Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55. It's the Tier 9 American SPG. This one's located on the southwest corner of Karelia, and it's under the command of Angelina75 of OLIMP.
Let's go.
Game on. It kind of looks like Angelina's not got any camo on that machine. She does have the marks of achievement, but it looks a bit bare actually in terms of no actual camo on top. It's worth 3% of concealment, so it is generally worth putting any camo on, even the most garish colours you can imagine, because they will actually have 3% extra. 8-inch howitzer capable of 900 alpha, 52mm pin, and Angelina's now searching for a target. First one she finds is a Barask, and he's just at the other side of the swamp. He keeps moving about a little. Angelina fires, rounds up, lands fairly close to where he was headed, and Angelina's already changing position to avoid counter battery. Now basically you can think of this vehicle as a pattern tank in reverse, because basically that's what it is. It's a pattern tank with the other way around. You're looking at what would be the rear end of a pattern. In fact, actually, it turned out to be the front end of an M53 and 55. Well, this DCT-159 is not being very clever, because he's sitting on that corner, rounds out, and he's just got hit right in the side of the turret. That was only 153 hit points though, but the guy's come way south, and he got stunned, and Angelina's picked up a load of stun assists off that one, and she now has the communications expert working. Okay, right up the other end, we can see that there is a squall. He's running for cover. Okay, a couple of other enemy tanks have been spotted. A M55 and a Waffenträger of Panzer IV. Now, the Waffenträger probably hasn't actually moved position. In fact, yes, I've just proved that because he's just got spotted again, and he is sitting there welded to that rock. Well, I say welded, but he's actually just moving about using the rock for cover. And of course, that's a temptation that any Arty will succumb to. Oh,
Enemy armor is destroyed.
I'm sorry, I couldn't stop laughing at that point, because not only did she hit him, she set fire to him. And it's only when he set fire that she suddenly, the vehicle appeared. And at that point, all it shows is 44 from the fire. But I think it's a lot more than she actually earned there. I think it's very likely she got 1,000 hit points of damage. She probably set fire to the guy. The fire was all whilst he was still hidden, but the rest... Oh! And another one goes in and hits the Panther Spy. Yes, that Waffenträger's probably thinking to himself, yeah, probably not the best idea to get spotted in a firing position like that, because you're only going to get slotted. Okay, Shure MV7X, right at the other end of the South Pass. Waiting last few seconds before reload. 40.27 seconds is the standard reload. We've got 32.39 for Angelina, and the enemy Arty's just been spotted. It's a 212A, rounds out, here we go. Well, impressive, because it actually landed behind him, and although it didn't kill him, he does go down to the LT-432, who actually sneaked in. Unfortunately, he's taken a lot of damage from that squall, but Angelina then picked up all of the rest of the stun assist from the LT-432's initial damage and spot, and then she got the stun, and then he died afterwards. She's going for the pattern, who could be a kill shot. Unfortunately, all she got was 68, and we did lose the LT-432, and it was the squall that got him in the end. That pattern is still a viable kill though, with only 84 hit points, and we know where he's headed. He's going right into that corner where the bushes are, because he's got so little in the way of hit points, he doesn't want to get hit again. Meanwhile, the squall is repositioning, and it's quite a dangerous tank, that. Any second now, we're going to have one ready. He's probably going to go to one of the bushes. And Angelina fires and gets a close, but no closer. Now, there's a bunch of enemy tanks right at the other end of this pass. And Angelina is probably going to do what I like doing as well, which is on a battle like this, you can get close behind your teammates and shoot over the top of them at the enemy that they're firing at, and that usually results in the enemy tanks getting stunned and then wiped out. The Patton's come out of his little hole. He's actually decided, well, 84 hit points or not, he's going to keep fighting. Well, we got some stun on him. If he does go down, at least we're going to get that. If not, we'll hit him and get another shot on target to wipe him out. I do believe that's the tier 9 pattern that was given out last year as the well-deserved gift or something of that matter. They actually gave one away. It's the GeForce 1010 that they've given out. Oh, that's it. The game's over. I was about to mention the GeForce 1010, but it wasn't GeForce 1010. It was the GeForce 1008, which most people have got now, just the GeForce. And of course, with the autoloader, that is actually quite a deadly tank destroyer. With the single shot variety, it's a bit slow. But anyway, it's nice to get a tier 9 tank because it allows a lot of people who haven't made it up to tier 9 yet to get into the game. So, Angelina managed to get a second-class tanker. She did get an arsonist because she set light to an enemy tank and watched it burn to death. She also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, she managed to get 7. And you can see the usefulness of watching to see what happens with the shell, because she fired that one in. She didn't know if the guy was still there or not, but she watched just to see if the shell disappeared. It did. So it hit the target, and not only did it hit the target, the target appeared immediately afterwards and then burned to death. We see the amount of hit points. It was 949. So although we saw only 44 hit points pop up, she actually did get the rest of it as well. So she actually got 905 hit points, a high roll from that one penetrating shot that actually did hit the Waffenträger. So just goes to show it's worth watching to see what happens to your shot. So let's have a look at the rest of it. The win rate was 1,816. And let's have a look at the rest of it to see where the team score. Okay, we didn't get the highest damage. That went to a Shrek who got 3,197 hit points. That guy got a Confederate, so he didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool. Second highest was the Chieftain Prototype with 2,902. And the third highest was the Sharp U24 who managed 2,737. Angelina got 1,710 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, though, it was the Barras that got the highest number with 3, alongside the Patton tank on our team. 2 kills went to the Sharp U24 and the T30, and on the enemy team, their Renegade also got 2 kills. Angelina only got 1 kill, but it was the Waffenträger. And when it came to base XP, it was the Sharp U24 that did well with 924. 889 went to the Barask, and 881 went to the Shrek. Angelina got 815 out of that game. And let's have a look at detail. She only fired 8 shots. The game was over very, very quickly. And she says, too hot for you. Well, I think she's referring to the Waffenträger. 2 direct hits, 1 penetrating shot. That was, of course, the Waffenträger. 7 splash, 1,710 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damage 7 of the enemy, kill 1. And didn't get the Confederate because, of course, somebody else managed to get a better result. We go back to the scores again just to see which one was the one who got the Confederate. Of course, that was the Shrek. And if we check the Shrek's results, he got 7 and 0. So he had a 7 difference. Angelina only had a 6 difference. That's why this guy got the Confederate. And, of course, he got a better win rate as well with higher damage. Going back to the detail report again, 891 hit points of stun assist off 8 stuns. So if she got more stun assist on this one, I think she would have ended up with a first class, and that might have given her the chance to beat Talon, who set the limit at the moment. And 86,484 credits profit from the game, with a 67,148 mission completion bonus and 3,057 experience points out of that one, with a 612 bonus from Holiday Ops. So a very good first game, but it improves Angelina's score, but does it put her in the lead? Let's have a look. Well, going back to, we can see this is Angelina's last game. That was the third class, so she does improve on that score for certain. This was Talon's best score. That was a second class and a bruiser. So she matched Talon, and his win rate on that game was 1,208. And that means that with this game, Angelina is definitely in the lead. She's definitely got enough to get into the lead now with a second class, a arsonist and a bruiser, and a higher win rate. So Angelina's in the lead. Let's see if she can keep that lead, and we'll go straight to the very next battle, which is with talon1958. Well, the second game is on the El Halluf map, and it is an encounter game. And we're in the GW Tiger, which is the tier 9 German SPG. And Talon does love the German SPGs. And yes, the GW Tiger with the 21 centimeter howitzer. You can tell that because there's no muzzle brake. And he's got 1 mark of excellence on the barrel.
Let's get this show on the road.
Game on. Well, it's not designed on the Tiger 1 hull. It's actually the Tiger 2, which actually technically is the Panzerkampfwagen 6 Ausführung B. So it's the second version that they came out with, but of course it's the hull is very much similar to the Panther type hull, with the angled, or the with the, how would you say, well, it is, yes, the angled front plate to enable shells to bounce off the front. You wouldn't want to meet the enemy with a GW Tiger, because of course it probably wouldn't survive, not with the very thin metal around the actual operating howitzer. Okay, target in sight, but we can't hit that one. Of course, the GW Tiger rather was already actually in. Oh, he's firing one in. No, didn't get anything from that one. It was being built at the time that the war ended. They were actually constructing it. The howitzer wasn't actually in the vehicle at the time, but it was there, and American troops did inspect it and looked over it at the time, and well, it was actually handed to the British, so the British could then decide what they were going to do, how they were going to test it, where it was going to go. Rounds out. Okay, that probably did splash the guy that was coming back. Not showing any loss of hit points from those guys in that corner though. Okay, he's moved far enough to avoid any counter battery. Okay, there's the Object 705. He's lost some hit points, but not much. We're only seconds away from being able to fire. Standard reload 40.27 seconds. Talon's got 33.59. Now he's marked the ground, but he hasn't got a real target he can hit. So he's looking at this mouse. Now if he fires now, chances are he's probably going to hit the rock face. Whoa! Now he managed to get that one over the top of the rock face and landed it near the mouse. He's got a better angle on that corner. That 705 is definitely worth a shot. Even though he's burning, one shot could be enough to put him out.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
And he does. He gets his first kill. I know sometimes people say, no, leave the tanks for the tanks to kill, just stun them and then get the assist. But the fact of the matter is, you're taking a gun out of the game by hitting them and wiping them out altogether. Oh, he's got 3 tanks in close, well, 2 tanks over on the right side on close proximity. Rounds out. Direct hit on the tortoise. He's going to meet an E75 when he goes around the corner. And he didn't like that. In fact, you can tell that the tortoise, although he's thinking about going around and getting more damage, he's now one shot and he won't survive very much longer. In fact, I think the E75 is getting ready for him because he knows that he's tempted. Oh, the E75 lost some hit points there. Well, we can help him. Rounds out. Second kill. So we're only 1 behind the enemy at the moment. Waffenträger's changing position. Now I wonder if he's actually relocating because he's going defensive, or that he's seen somebody coming up from the valley. I'm not sure that's true because there is a leopard down in the valley. The mouse has changed position so we can hit him. I did say the standard reload 40.27 seconds. Talon's got 33.59. Oh, and he took out the Kunstpanzer to get his 3rd kill and be the highest scoring player in the game so far. And he's getting stun assist off the mouse and just got the communications expert working. So that's 2.5% extra to the crew skills for the rest of the game. Very much worth getting that one. Okay, he's going to do the same again. Land the shell next to the mouse. Rounds out. Hit the rock face this time. I'm not sure why we've got so many tanks sitting near the spawn point. This is an encounter battle, which means that there's no point in the enemy coming up this area unless there's AFKs. So it does seem that we've got guys in the wrong spot during this game. Now they are moving down towards the cap now, which is a handy bit, but let's see what we can do with the mouse. Rouse out. Again, hits the rock face. Would have been very nice if we got the kill there. And the Cobra, he's marked him as his next target, so he's telling the Super Conk that he was going to go for him, but unfortunately we lost the Super Conqueror to the Cobra's firepower. But he is badly damaged, that Cobra, and he might be able to get another shot on this guy. Okay, he's turning around. We're only a few seconds away from shooting. Rounds out. Yep, right on top of the turret. That's his 4th kill now. Oh, he's definitely going for it as the high scorer in this game. I know a lot of people might say, oh, but he's actually just taking out tanks who've got very few hit points left. That may be true, but the fact is he's taking guns out of the game, and that makes it more difficult for the enemy to win. We were 1 behind, now we're 3 ahead. Now the enemy is probably over on the other side of the little hill, so he'll have to move a bit closer if he wants to get a shot, but that might make him visible to the M48 pattern on the other side of the valley. So at the moment I think he's holding back. He's pulled back, and that means his gun is more level and he can get the shot on the Jag Tiger. This could be another kill. Rounds out. Well, it's 137 hit points. It's changing position. The enemy Arty is a batch at 155-55, the single shot version. And the Jag Tiger has stopped capping, or our guys have got into the cap. It's actually, he hasn't stopped capping, but he's about to die anyway. And in fact, the Jag Tiger was taken out by our AMX M451. Now we've got a Death Star here. FB215B183, rounds out. Right on his door! That was a penetrating shot to the rear of the vehicle, right on the weak spot. He now has Oh, over 2,000 hit points of damage, 812 of stun assist. Now, we still don't know about that pattern. And the Waffenträger on our team is crossing the valley. We're getting closer to the cap area. I think we might have a shot now on the FP215B. Now, he's got to angle the shell, and he's going for the pattern. Okay, he's still sitting up there as far as we can tell. Got the concentration skull. He's put the aim point where the pattern was, and he got a direct hit. So that shot would have given him a headache for sure. He's only got 2 rounds left, though. That's the problem with the 21 centimeters. You only get 15 rounds. So 2 rounds left, and there's 3 enemies. But he has made good use of his shots. Well, few shots actually hit the walls instead. He could get into the cap. That would put pressure on the enemy. Well, if the pattern was across the valley and try and find Arty, he's not going to find him in the usual spot. And there's the pattern. He's been spotted. And he's out the game as well. So now it's just the batch at 155.55. And I think Talon wants to hit him. Is he going to get a shot? We've only got 1 in the cap. The E75 has stayed behind. And the 60 TP and Waffenträger look like they're headed up the hill. And nobody's capping now, so it's a good idea for Talon to get into the cap instead. Our FP4005 is just behind us. Surely he'll recognise as well that we need 2 in the cap. Ideally, we cap on this side of the hill, not the other side, because the enemy will think we're on the other side. Nice. Going into the bush here. The back chat's not going to fire at this spot. Not in a million years. Well, he's turned up. He's trying to go after us. And he's on the other side. Oh! Here's the end of battle results. And this was a first-class tanker for talon1958 in the GW Tiger. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. He also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this game. He managed to get 8. And his win rate from this one was 3,314, which is Super Unicum standard. So let's have a look at team score and see where he was. Well, at the end of that game, the highest damage actually went to that Death Star on the enemy team, who managed 8,066 hit points. So that's definitely a high caliber. Second highest damage turned out to be the 60 TP with 4,985. He got a steel wall. And third highest, well, that goes to the Super Conqueror on our team, who got a Confederate and 4,414. Talon managed to get 2,461. He was only beaten by 2 members of the enemy team and 5 members on his own team, which makes him 8th overall on hit points. When it came to kills, though, he definitely scored the top spot there. He was the top killer. 4 kills went to Talon. 2 kills went to the 60 TP, the Super Conqueror, the Waffenträger auf Panzer IV, the AMX M451, the E75, And on the enemy team, their Death Star, their Cobra, their M48 Patton, and their STP-1 all got 2 kills as well. When it came to base XP, the top score was the 60 TP, 1,149, 1,094 to the Superconk, 1,024 went to the Buffen Tiger, 1,008 went to the DCT 159, and the same to the Wizzy 111 Model 5A. So a lot of players who managed to get over 1,000 base in that game, with the next one, the 6th player, happening to be Talon with 924. So yes, he was alongside a lot of really good players who knew what they were doing, and they were definitely outperforming the enemy team. And of course, well, that's not a bad performance, 924. Let's have a look at detail. He fired 13 rounds, so it was a good amount to actually get the results. 5 direct hits on the enemy, 1 penetrating shot, 10 splash. So can we guess which one he penetrated in this game? Well, I would have thought that it was actually the Tortoise that he actually penetrated, but it wasn't, because of course the Tortoise does have a thick steel hull. The Cobra, no, he hit the turret of the Cobra. The Kunstpanzer, no. The Object 705, no. So who was it that he actually penetrated? And it was the Death Star, the enemy's best player. He put the shell right through the door on the back of the Death Star and took away 967 of his hit points with that one shot alone. And that, of course, made it much easier for our guys to actually take down their best player with that one round. So let's have a look at the rest of the detail. 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 kills, so no chance of getting a Confederate. 812 hit points of stun assist off 7 stuns. So he didn't get a huge amount of stun assist, but got enough to get the first class. He also got 11 capture points and 2 defense points when he reset the cap. On a premium count, he actually made 120,308 credits profit, including 109,116 from holiday ops, and he took away 3,465 experience points out of that one, including 693 from holiday ops. And he says he loves the German line. Well, yes, he's told me this many times. He does like the German line because it's just so fun to play. And yes, it is good, except that there's not enough shells. I think Wargaming really does need to adjust the number of shells on some of the Arty in the game so that they don't run out all the time. Obviously, the other ones that run out are the T92 HMC, and of course, all the other GWs that are actually using this particular howitzer, because of course that means the GW Tiger P and of course the GW E100 are all using the same howitzer, and they're all short on rounds, so they really do need to have more rounds added, as does the Object 261 on the Russian line, simply because they would have been carrying more rounds, or at least they would have been had trucks supplying them. So at the very least, they should have enough rounds similar to the 212A, which of course has 30 rounds. So let's have a look at that. That means that if we look at Angelina's last run, she had a 2nd class arsonist and a bruiser and 1816. Talon now has a 2nd class fighter, bruiser, and 3314. That means Talon's stolen the lead back, and it looks like he's going to get the weekend lie-in. One more replay has turned in. We'll actually put that one in as a separate video following this one, so that will be along very shortly. But it means that Talon is currently in the lead and has every chance of getting the weekend lie-in. Hope you enjoyed those 2 replays. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.